For 5 years running, it's the OD in the AM with Jeff Symbieta, A. Marie Castillo, and JJ Buck.
Defense wins championships, but if this weekend was any indication, you better be able to score some points in the NFL as well. 24 was the lowest score over the weekend by a team who won a playoff game in the National Football League. You better be able to score as well, and I don't care if you're playing with your third-string quarterback. You better be able to score some points. Boy, we got some entertaining games over the weekend. In Super Wildcard Weekend, we are not done yet. We get the Cowboys and the Buccaneers tonight, and the Lobos with their biggest victory in years. To me, JJ, bigger than when they were having a bad season and beat a ranked Nevada team at home. This is the biggest victory in a long, long time over San Diego State. Saturday night at Viejas 76-67. Do we have a super Monday for you here on the opening drive? Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, what's good?
What'd it do?
How was the weekend?
Solid.
How was Vegas? I mean, aside from the play.
The game at the Thomas and Mack Center was unbelievable. The UNO and Colorado State.
I watched that game because, well, we all watched the end of that game. That Isaiah Stevens shot that he hurled over his head with two hands and banked in to send the game in overtime and win the game. Yeah, we all watched that game because we're all trying to watch the Lobo game. I look at this weekend, and I look at the games we watch on Saturday and Sunday. And a few things I know. I know the Chargers are going to charge rate. Have I been telling you that for years that they are cursed?
Yes.
I mean, do we need any more proof of where I am on the Chargers? And if I might be wrong on a lot of things, at least I'm right on that.
Very right.
That was stunning, was it not? I like that was the Jaguars and Chargers. The Chargers were up 27-0. 27-0. They turned the Jags over 5 times. Trevor Lawrence was giving the ball away like Halloween candy. And it made it easy for you to just flip over and watch the Lobo game, didn't it? It was nice. And then every once in a while, just go back during the breaks and check on the football game. Oh, it's getting tighter. Oh, look at that. They scored. Oh, holy smokes, we got a game. Stunning how they blew that game. Stunning. And all the credit to the Jags for coming back and not giving up, and Trevor Lawrence making plays and their defense figured out in the second half. Stunning. Of everything that happened this weekend, the Jags coming back from being down 27-0 to me is the most stunning.
Still trying to wrap my head around what happened in the second half. Where did it go so wrong? Why weren't you able to find one more drive? They had a missed field goal in there, but the defense absolutely collapsed offensively in the second half. Well, at the moment they went up 27-0.
Yeah.
The rest of the way, the Chargers called 25 pass plays and 8 run plays. So they just didn't know how to finish out a game. There's a lot of football left. You have to play an entire second half, but you finish +5 in turnover differential. You have a 27-0 lead at some point in that game, and you lose.
And you lose. So there's a couple things in there. They didn't run the ball well. They ran for 67 yards. And put together one more drive. It's not like they put together a bunch of drives in the first half. They were on short fields. Trevor Lawrence was giving the ball away, and Justin Herbert was fine, 25 for 43, not a great percentage. 273 yards. They didn't turn the ball over. So it's not like they were moving the ball that well to begin with. They had short fields. Trevor Lawrence had 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Now, were they all his fault? They weren't, but they go to him. Threw for 288 yards. His numbers weren't stunning, although the 4 touchdowns was pretty good. They ran the ball for 117 yards. Travis Etienne is a running back. And I look at Austin Eckler, and I'm thinking, he's an NFL running back too, and actually a pretty damn good one. And why Brandon Staley didn't feed him the ball, why the Chargers didn't go into a mode of let's grind this thing. We're up 27-0. And I guess you always want to put your foot on their throat, and I get it, but can we be smart on the road a little bit? Can we be smart a little bit? And they threw. I thought their best receiver was Gerald Everett because he was hard to tackle. It was the most stunning. Your point always is, and you're so right on this. For every comeback, there's a collapse, right? Or for every collapse, there's a comeback. And I don't want to take any of the credit away from Jacksonville, Because when you're down 27-0 and you're who they are, you could have easily gone into just happy to be here mode, right? They had first pick in the draft. They were horrible last year. They were not supposed to do anything. They win the division. They get to the playoffs. Good job, good effort. Like, there's a good step. And let's go to next year. You're down 27-0. And they didn't. And so I would give them all the credit in the world. But for crying out loud, man, at some point, Brandon Staley teams have to stop doing this.
The fact that they're up 27-0 and everyone was like, you know what's going to happen.
That's right.
They're
No,
going to
100%.
lose this game. It tells you everything you need to know about what is wrong with the Chargers when that game, as you just laid out, Trevor Lawrence was trying to gift wrap that game to them. And say, here you go. It's going to be easy for you. Second half, no problem. Then it's also credit to Doug Peterson, and he's changed the culture in Jacksonville, how hard they played after a bad start to get to the postseason, to not stop playing in that contest. We saw that as well yesterday in another game with Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So every one of these teams in the postseason playing hard. We saw multiple lead changes in a lot of these games. And that's what you ask all these coaches we talk to, Jeff. What does that mean? What is culture?
Learning how to win.
And it's just not giving up. Part of it too is just continue to play hard. Do your job even when you think the game is over, and then we'll see what happens.
It's pretty crazy, isn't it? It's pretty crazy how you sit here the day after and look back at it, or 2 days now after that one, and look at what the Chargers did, and they are them. That is what they do. I will argue with you the Chargers have a better roster than Jacksonville, although I love what Jacksonville is. I love what they've become. I love what they've made there, but they're special. Niners did it again with Brock Purdy, third-string quarterback. The Bengals damn near did it with their backup quarterback yesterday. Giants, Daniel Jones has established himself, I think, now. I mean, are we over making decisions there? Do we have a quarterback in New York?
Danny Jones.
I mean, we're there now, right? And the Dolphins. Tell you what, Mike McDaniel and his team, and there's a lot of blame going around about the delay, and did they think it was a first down? Did they have the wrong personnel in there? That team fought like hell too, with a third-string quarterback and damn near won in Buffalo. We got so much to do. Stephanie's in for A. Marie today. Is it? I saw the email, right? It came in before the Vikings game yesterday, so this has nothing to do with the Vikings game yesterday?
No.
Okay. Thanks for coming in and working the
Oh,
holiday.
no
It's
problem.
good to see you this morning. Big game for you tonight, Cowboys and Buccaneers.
I know.
Big one. She's wearing her star in her chest.
I don't ever watch the games.
Why?
So the first game that I did watch,
Yeah.
that was the first game they lost.
Okay.
So I was like, I can't watch.
It's all your fault.
And so
All your
then
fault.
the next game that they watched, I was at home, and I tried not to watch, but my family members kept telling me what was going on, and I kept telling them, don't tell me. Then they lost. So I'm like superstitious that if I watch or if I pay attention that they're going to lose, so I can't really.
So what do you do during the game? Like you just hide or what?
I just try to I try not to even pay attention and think about it.
So-
Wild.
It is wild, huh? It's all your fault.
I know.
So are you a fan?
I'm like
you
the
never
Jess-
watch your team?
I'm like the Jessica Simpson. No.
It's all- yeah, no, that's right. Did you go to you went to Cabo with Tony too,
No.
or was it Cabo? It was Cabo.
Because I blame Tony Romo's downfall on
Jessica Simpson.
Yeah,
a lot of people do.
and especially that day that she wore that pink jersey.
Mhm.
That was
Sitting
that
in
was
that
it.
suite.
Oh,
Yeah, sitting
that was it.
I played golf last weekend. I played during the early window. We had a 10 o'clock tee time, and so I set up red zone in my vehicle, in my golf cart. And so I'm watching the games in the golf cart, and the guy I'm riding with is good. And we're playing with one guy. Hey, no, don't tell me any of the games. I got everything recorded. What do you mean, dude? We can't talk about the
Right,
the
I have a
football,
friend
what's
like
going on?
that too.
Yeah, no, hey. Like we had one guy who wanted to know, hey, are the Dolphins going to get in? I'm like, hey, dude, no, I don't want to hear it. Well, dude, like, stop. I can't.
Right?
I
It's
know.
everywhere.
I know. But he was on the golf course, and he was going to somehow
But no,
stay away from scores.
I wish luck, everything wishes.
All right.
Good vibes.
All right. Well,
But
Cowboys.
it's the Brady.
It is the Brady. They're playing the Brady. They do have that. All right, Cowboy fan, we're going to get into your game tonight. We got everything to go through from yesterday and over the weekend. We've got the Bills And Dolphins. You know what? The other thing I learned is playoff games are tight. Not that I didn't know that before, but we had some big spreads, and the only one that really held was the Seahawks game, right?
Yeah.
Playoff games are tight.
And that was the one you're looking at going, that's going to be close.
Because you don't trust Brock Purdy? At some point, you better start trusting Brock Purdy.
No, it's because give credit to Seattle.
Yeah. No,
in that game.
And the Niners pulled away. Woo. We are going to get into Lobo basketball. 76-67, a tremendous win in San Diego. Remember the other day, I said, how can Lobos beat San Diego State? I'll tell you how. A lot of that happened, didn't it? A lot of what we talked about happened. I will tell you the biggest win in years, certainly the biggest win in Richard Pitino's tenure as head basketball coach. Richard Pitino will join us 8 o'clock this morning as the Lobos beat the Aztecs in Viejas, quieted that place in a statement game. Now, you still got to make statements against the teams at the bottom of the conference as well. But to go in there and win that, we'll talk about what that means. 505-246-0610 is how to get here today. It's how to get in on the 377 Brewery hotline. You can also send us text there as well. The email's Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. On the Twitter, he's _JJ Buck. Facebook, the OD in the AM. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks. He, too, is working the holiday. You can watch it on Comcast Channel 26, on the YouTube channel for ProView Networks, and on our Facebook page, the OD in the AM. We got to go through the playoffs, and we're getting into Lobo basketball. 76-67 at San Diego State. What it means and how to follow it up tomorrow night. That's coming up on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Makes a little sports analysis.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud
Philadelphia, and then the winner of the Cowboys game will go on the road and play at the 49ers, right? That's what I know. That much I know. I also know that Saturday night, as you were watching the Jaguars and Chargers game, and I don't know if you did a sports bar, I don't know if you split screened it, I don't know if you had one on the computer, whatever it is you did. Louisville basketball had their biggest win, and I don't even know when to go back to. I was thinking about this a lot. And it's only big if they follow it up and they win tonight and beat San Jose State, and then they win on Friday. But it's to go on the road this isn't just beating a ranked Nevada team that came in when you're having a bad year, right? And you had one night, and that night in the pit against Nevada, people are telling me that was the greatest pit night ever. It was nice, but it was like such a flash in the pan. It was a bad year that you got hot one night and you beat that ranked Nevada team and with Eric Musselman and it was a weird, crazy, how the hell did that happen night. This is a year in which you started 14-0. You're 15-2. You go in and trying to figure out who you are and knock off the 23rd ranked team in the country, the team that's been the best team in your league for the last decade, and go in there where you've lost the last couple of times by 25 points, and go in there and beat them and beat them solidly, beat them soundly, and make a statement game. And I've read that the Lobos are now the team to beat in the league, and that might end up being true. You got to be able to beat the teams at the bottom of the standings too, the Fresno States and the UNLVs. UNLV's 1-4. But JJ, I've been going back in my mind, trying to think. It's the biggest win for that program since when? I'm not even sure I know the answer, but it's been years.
But the game I go to is beating San Diego State in the Mountain West Tournament title game.
And that was, what, 2013, 14, 15? So
the last time you went to the NCAA tournament, this is the last meaningful stretch of basketball the team was playing to the level that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So that's the last game I go back to. The Nevada game was a great moment. This could be a great piece to something much bigger this season, which why it has that different feel. This was the best game they played all season from start to finish. To get out to a quick start on the road, to withstand the push that was coming in the second half, and then to pull away and close the game, best they have played this season.
I can't argue with you. They didn't turn the ball over 12 times. They turned San Diego State over 12 times. They out-rebounded San Diego State. We said, I think it was Thursday or Friday, we had this conversation. How can the Lobos beat San Diego State? And I think both of us thought San Diego State would win the game, right? But we didn't think it was impossible that the Lobos could win. There were ways. And so we said if the Lobos rebound the ball, and they out-rebounded San Diego State 36-35. If they defend both the perimeter and the interior, which they did, San Diego State shot only 42%. And they take control of the basketball. 12 turnovers is acceptable on the road. And they hit shots. And they shot almost 47%, 46.6%. And those things happen. And to your point, with holding San Diego State's run, the Aztecs came back and took a 1-point lead. Crazy sequence. I thought both of those technicals, I saw Jeff Grammer say this as well. There was a technical on Nathan Mensah. He had 3 fouls, got called for a reach on Morris Udeze, a touch call. He reacted as players do, got hit with a technical. I thought it was just a bad call and certainly swung the game. That was his 4th and 5th call. And I thought the technical on House was ridiculous. I thought it was like House said, the fans can yell at you and talk at you and you can't talk back. And you've got to know the difference. I don't know what he did that trip down the court that he didn't do any other time.
That was old man get off my lawn from the referees on the Jalen House technical. Because he was not looking at any players. He was just screaming, running down the court.
Yeah, took his mouthpiece out.
That was old man get off my lawn. The Mensah one, I could see it more because of the
immediate reaction,
the frustration, and the kind of the lunge screaming at the official. They have zero tolerance for that from players in college basketball.
Okay. I thought, obviously that altered the game, right? With what, 11 minutes to go ish, they took the former defensive player of the game out.
8:20.
8:20. Okay, it was a lot of time left. So you're playing differently with 3 fouls. You don't get 2 fouls on a play unless that happens, and you did. So I thought that was significant.
And then it was just quickly after that, a 5-0 run.
Well, House scored. He hit the 2 free throws and hit the 3, so that was a 5-point trip.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. House was terrific. The shots that he was putting up, and I know there's a couple of you who, I think most of you love Jalen House, and I've told you this, and I will stand by this. I think Jalen House is the most dynamic Lobo to come through here in years. I'm not telling you he's the best player. I might even argue I would. I think Mashburn is a more steady player, a more consistent player, and Mashburn was terrific. But House is the most dynamic player I've seen come through here in a lot of years, and he can alter games. And when you've got a guy that can score 29 points on the road like that in a place where he didn't play well last year, when you've got San Diego State in the newspapers and in the media talking about how all this talk about how they're the best backcourt in the league, we'll see about that. Well, yeah, you saw about it, and still is leading the conference in assists and in steals, and playing a complete game. Oh, and by the way, he might not have had any assists the other night, and the Lobos only had 5 total on all their bats.
5 assists.
Crazy. He only turned the ball over once. House was game changing on Saturday night.
Those are the type of players that win you games at the highest level. When you talk about what wins you an NCAA tournament game, what can help you compete for a conference championship, it is guys that can win one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a frustrating style for some people for some reason, because they think everything has to be, high school. All right, 5 passes, lay it high off the glass. San Diego State's a very good team. And that shows you they're very good because Lobos only had 5 assists. So they had to win one-on-one battles. They had to hit tough shots. And they have 2 guys that can hit shots with the best of them in college basketball
and
right
create
now.
Their own.
And Jamal Mashburn and Jalen House. And they're not big guys. And that's what makes it that much better for them. Not better, I'd say that's what makes it more incredible. It really is. That they can get their shots. Mashburn can always get to that elbow. He can always elevate, get his shot up. The quickness of Jalen House. To not be guys that are just bully basketball, but they don't shy away from that contact. Mm-hmm. House will go to the basket. And to win a game on the road and shoot the way they did,
mm-hmm.
especially from 2-point range, approaching 50%, man, that is unbelievable when you think about it, being in that environment, the way San Diego State was playing, and just how good Jalen House was in the second half. He is public enemy number 1.
That's fine.
Because he's the guy that if he's not on your team, you hate him.
Yep. But if he is,
and that's what you want. You got the dude that everyone in this league doesn't like him, one, because he's really good. He's also boisterous, and boy, did he back it up.
Let me tell you what else they did. I thought they defended insanely well. I thought they defended really well. I don't know if it was Richard Pitino, and he'll be with us at 8 o'clock this morning, if it was his idea or somebody on his staff, to put Josiah Alec on Matt Bradley, who is going to be first-team all-conference and is San Diego State's leading scorer. But it obviously frustrated Bradley. Now, he had 14 on 5 of 16 shooting. And he's their guy now. When everybody else goes cold, then Trammell went cold for them, and Butler didn't score well for them. And there's a reason. I thought the Lobo defense, as much as House was great, and so if House was the difference 0.2 or whatever, was the Lobo defense. I thought they defended JJ, as well as they have, period.
Josiah Alec on Matt Bradley was a great call. It worked out. Kept him down until the second half when Matt Bradley just kind of tried to take over the game himself and get San Diego State going. And the decisions, the way they executed, 2 thumbs up across the board. Because the Alec move, I would have never thought of that.
I wouldn't either. No,
we were sitting there talking about Javonte Johnson, who played a really good game, impactful, hit 2 early 3-point shots. And you're thinking, that's going to be the guy that's getting the perimeter. And they're like, we're going to throw our power forward at you. And it worked.
Throwing our athletic power forward, it shows that he's just not a banger on the block, too. Give Josiah Alec a ton of credit for being able to chase Matt Bradley all over the court and really, really frustrate him. All right, we're going to talk to Richard Pitino at 8 o'clock, so we'll talk global basketball then. I got a couple emails on it as well. If you want to get in, you can at 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. When we come back, what was the best game of the NFL weekend? It really is all in your perspective. And now what? Now what going forward? We're going to go take a deeper dive and look at some of the quarterback play and some of the big plays and some of the coaching decisions from this past weekend. That's when we come back. 505-246-0610 is how to get here if you'd like to be part of the show. Men, women, you dealing with hair loss? Hair loss is not just a man thing. It's both men and women. And if you are dealing with it and you don't know what to do, I'm going to suggest you call NuMale. NuMale is not just for men when it comes to this. Now, guys, you know that NuMale helps you with things like depression and fatigue and weight gain, even erectile dysfunction, and they still will take care of that for you. And still, that's what they specialize in, and they help you with that. But for men and women who are dealing with hair loss, schedule an appointment with NuMale, because they've got a lot of state-of-the-art options for you to take care of that. 505-652-1688, 505-652-1688, or you can visit online at NuMale, NuMale.com. So they have professionals who will walk you through the options. You'll pick what's best for you to regrow hair. Platelet-rich plasma hair therapy, which uses your own platelets, stimulates stem cells deep in your hair follicle. It'll stop hair loss and you'll regrow hair. They offer you an FDA-cleared clinical hair restoration laser. This is proven to regrow hair. And NeoGraft hair transplants, which produce natural-looking results in less than a week and no linear scarring. So men, ladies, if you're dealing with hair loss, call NuMale, 505-652-1688, 505-652-1688, or online at NuMale.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Last game of the season. By the way, Steph, if that's the case, he says, then please watch the game tonight. If they lose when you watch, he said, please watch it. You can text us at 505-246-0610. Charterland is cranky with Brandon Staley. I don't know how big Charterland is. All my buddies from San Diego, by the way, are getting the biggest satisfaction in watching the Chargers not just lose, but lose like that. That's the most painful. You're up 27-0, and then to just gag that away. That is the hardest, most inexplicable way. And he plays the starters the week before in a meaningless game, and he loses Mike Williams.
Yeah, it's piling on now for Brandon Staley because it's Mike Williams after the fact is easy to say he's a guy that shouldn't have played because you also only have X amount of players available.
So you got to play somebody.
So
you got to play the game.
Some of those guys are going to have to be on the field. It's just timing of it. And I've heard former players discuss this. Yeah. They're going in, everyone wants to sit, but you only have so many players available.
Game,
And so that one, it's easy to pile on because it's just another mistake for Brandon Staley, not having Mike Williams out there, the guy with injury history. Maybe that's something you should have discussed in Week 18 because Mike Williams have helped you in the second half when you need to make a play. And as you talked about, they didn't really have to get going. They didn't really have to do anything because Trevor Lawrence was giving them everything in the first half. But the game's out there in the second half, and you have to get going, and you were never able to. And at this point in time, there's so much there. I don't know how you can run it back with Brandon Staley right now if you're the Chargers, if you're the ownership group, because who do you trust right now? And everyone, we thought Justin Herbert was the next big thing, and he's
got to eat some of this too.
He's wearing
he?
this in the second half. Yep. They overcame so much this season injury-wise to be in that position, as did so many other teams, and yet it still does not go their way. And the only thing that's going to change right now with the Chargers
is the head coach.
Would be the head coach.
And Sean Payton sitting there. And that's a situation for him to go in. And if Sean Payton goes into the Chargers, all of a sudden you're like, that's the guy who can break a curse. Right? That's the guy who's got the witchcraft to break a curse.
Did it in New Orleans.
Justin Herbert's got to eat some of this. He wasn't very good. Do you buy the whole dialogue? Well, the Chargers, they just needed to make the playoffs this year and take a step. Because I don't.
No.
I don't. They were better than that.
It's
or should have been.
It's not. It's a part of the process, but it's not one that I'm okay with because you don't know if that opportunity is ever going to come back your way.
100%.
It's like, oh, you just lost in the playoffs this year. Well, guess what? You get to the second round next year. No, it's not that easy. In
That's
any
the Jags.
sport.
I mean, the Jags could have been there. If there was any team in the playoffs this year that could have just been happy to be there, it would have been Jacksonville, right? Well, or the Giants for that matter. The Giants went out and won, and the Jaguars went out and won. Those were the two teams where you're like, well, all right. I guess Seattle too. And Seattle fought. Rudy, good morning.
Good morning. Well, I guess the show got canceled Saturday, huh?
Oh, I see what you did there. That was cute. Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of Twitter banging going back and forth between the Hellraisers and the show. So when you can go in and back it up, I guess it's okay to talk, isn't it?
Yeah, look, that's what games do, and you'll play them again in February, and then you very well may play them again in Vegas, and see what it is. That's what it is. I just, my point is, and I've seen a lot of, well, New Mexico's the team to beat in the Mountain West yet. I'm not sure I'm ready to go there yet until New Mexico makes sure that they can beat the Vegases and the Fresnos, the teams at the bottom of the standings as well, because those games count as much in the standings. So New Mexico is a team to beat, but I'm not certain I bought into what I saw a lot, that they're the team to beat yet. They may be. It may have to go through them. They're really good, and I've said that the whole time. They're really, really good, and they proved it the other night.
Well, what a difference a year makes. You know, last year I think between MASH and House, they had, I don't know, Jeff ran it down 12 points.
Yeah, and they had 51 the other night.
Yeah, 51 the other night. But what really made a difference is just how frustrated Bradley was with Josiah guarding him. And Josiah gave it all up for the team because he ended up with, 0 points, 2 rebounds. But he hounded Matt Bradley. And I think putting a guy that big on him was a huge difference maker in the game. And like I said, I don't know who came up with that strategy, but it obviously worked. And going forward, who knows if it'll work again, because all of this is, as they say, spy versus spy. But, you know, Albuquerque's excited again. The sports bars were packed. People were screaming at the TV. That's all good stuff.
Yeah.
So
didn't it
I
just
was
show
really
you?
impressed, though. San Diego State is good.
They're really good.
You can't take anything away from them. It was just a classic New Mexico-San Diego State game, the way it used to be, and the way when it's like that, I think the Mountain West is a better conference.
100%.
So congratulations to the Lobos. They talked and they backed it up. And I love Jalen House because if you can talk, you can back it up, you know. You back it up, you get to talk. And he hit some huge shots. Those 3 3-point shots that he made down the stretch were just huge shots.
Big money shots. All right, man. I appreciate you. It's a good perspective. You know, it just goes to show, how the box score doesn't tell you the whole story of the game. How important was Josiah Alec? You look at his line. Well, he had no points. He had 2 rebounds, and I mean, he played 32 minutes. He didn't play. No, he played really well. Secondly, it goes back to my theory, which I really didn't apply on Friday because, you know, but maybe I should have. In the Mountain West, when 2 teams are relatively evenly matched, the team who needs it more wins 90-something% of the time. It feels, doesn't it? New Mexico needed that game more.
But that doesn't happen at Viejas. And
no, that's why I didn't go that way on it. Yeah.
With the streaks that the Lobos have ended this year, whether it's St. Mary's going in there, Viejas, which is a much tougher environment. They both have their challenges because even when you go to a smaller gym, when you're used to playing in front of big crowds and it's different energy, even in a full house, all that stuff is different and can translate just to how certain players go about their routines and chemistry for a game. But man,
it doesn't happen there. They don't get beat there very often
in Viejas.
Yeah, and that's why I think this was the biggest win. If you want to go back to 2014 when they beat San Diego State to get into the NCAA tournament, if you want to go back to then, I mean, I'm listening. I got somebody that texted me that said it was their biggest win since Paul Weir, 2019. I'm sorry, when Mr. Rogers beat Big Ten co-champ Wisconsin at Barclays. I think this is way bigger than that. Again, that was a win in a year that you forget about it because the rest of the year went the way it went. Yeah, because it fell apart. Like that was, didn't they lose to Auburn the day before, right? Mm-hmm. And then they beat Wisconsin. It was a good win. but I don't think you felt like this coming out of that win. I don't think that you felt like you could do something. I promise you weren't 16-2 and just beat a nationally ranked team in their place. A league victory, San Diego State, like that was a good win, but I will tell you, I think this one's bigger than that. I keep going. I keep throwing them at me.
Yeah, this has the potential because even you look at the standings and it's still kind of a little wild when you see the Lobos 3-2 in Mountain West play. This team should be in the NCAA tournament.
I agree with that.
And that is why a game like this resonates that much more and what could potentially be a fantastic story for the Lobos this season, because you're sitting there looking at the Mountain West Conference right now, and they got to be up. They got to be ready to go for San Jose State. There's not a game in this conference where you can say, hey, man, that was a tough one on Saturday, but we got this team coming in.
Well, if they don't beat San Jose State, I'm not going to tell you it erases what happened Saturday night because I don't think it does, but it certainly equalizes it.
It does,
right?
Because you're trying to climb that ladder, the rankings, everything is magnified at this point in time, and that's
they went up to 37 in the net.
I'll double check this morning.
I checked
too for the updated net rankings. That one's tough. That one's changing like every hour. It seems like when games are ended, but that's the point. Then it's the net rankings at the very end of the season is what's going to matter for the selection committee. But this Aztec win right there with St. Mary's, like those are not losing their luster in the rankings.
New Mexico is at 36. They were 50 something going into the game. So as of this morning, they're 36. San Diego State dropped to 31st. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. That's how to get here today. We're talking about the NFL, and we're talking about the Lobos' big victory in San Diego. Richard Pitino due to be with us at 8 o'clock this morning. Thank you for being with us on this holiday morning and remembering that you listen to 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Sports Animal.
Steph, you're making fans. Omar likes you even more. He says, I always liked Steph Cat, but I like her even better now that I know that she's Mexico's 3rd biggest Cowboys fan behind Mark Ronchetti and Omar. Not cocky, not nervous going into Tampa Bay, just very confident in the NFL's $8 billion franchise. It's from Omar. Okay? But you're making fans. You make fans every time you're in here. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. All right, what says you this morning? Good morning, Lenny. Thanks for holding. What's happening?
Let's go with the Chargers debacle.
Go.
To keep Brandon Staley is an embarrassment to the team and the fans.
Okay.
The game is given to you in the first quarter with 4 interceptions.
Yep.
And then you take the foot off the gas. And in the second half, Doug Peterson makes the changes. Trevor Lawrence is still not bothered by it. Plays like a different team in the second half. Yep. And just put a beating on us.
And you disappeared.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it just flat out disappeared. And that was
it looked like a tale of. It looked like in the second half, 2 totally different teams showed up.
Yep.
And for Trevor Lawrence in his second season, after going what he went through in his rookie season with Urban Meyer, to do what he did in the second half, hats off to him. 4 of 16 in the first half with 4 more interceptions.
Yeah.
How do you not keep your foot on the gas pedal and just keep going and going and going to drive up as many points as you can so that when the fourth quarter comes, you could start taking your players out? And now, does this also go back to the Mike Williams injury? Yes, because if he's there, we're not having Austin Eckler playing as your wideout most of the game.
I'm going to give you this. I think taking your foot off the pedal would have been running and run the football. And they didn't do that, right? It's not like they threw the ball. It looked like they were
No,
trying
but I don't
to
even
score.
know. I don't even know how they had Bandy in there running. Bandy hasn't run all season.
I don't know what the
Then you decide. Finally you're going to let Gerald Parham play. Gerald Parham is a 6'8", 237-pound tight end who did pretty good last year when you passed the ball to him. You don't play him all season. Now you put him into the game.
Yep. I don't understand a lot of what he did. Now, I'm not going to lie. I flipped over. I was really paying attention to the basketball game because it was 27-0. It made it easy to. But I was watching what happened. I'm like, oh, what are they doing? What are they doing? Oh, they're not running the ball. I didn't know what he was doing, and he looks confused.
He doesn't know what he's doing. If you don't know what he's doing, just think he doesn't know. When you look at him, the lights are off. He looks like that.
And he
looks like a walking mugshot.
Some people are really good coordinators, JJ, and that's okay. Some people make a career out of being really good coordinators, and
Like
that's
Josh
okay.
like Josh McDaniel.
Yeah,
and others. But
Norv Turner.
If you don't fire him with Sean Payton still available, who has hinted through back channels he wants to be in San Diego because he lives there in that
We all want
area.
to be in San Diego. The
Why are
Chargers
you
should be
not
there,
going
too.
for him?
The Chargers should be there too.
Why are you going to let him walk? Why are you not letting him walk to Denver?
First of all, the Spanos are not good owners.
No, they're not good owners, and the four kids who own the trust, none of them get along.
Yeah, no, you got a problem, man. You got a cursed franchise who is horribly run, and you've got a guy who's just not ready for the head coaching job, who proves it over and over again, and you've got a roster that should have been way, way, way better than they were, and they blew a 27-point lead. This is historic. This is, you can go back to Oilers and
The
Bills.
third biggest
ever.
blow lead in history.
playoffs.
The only ones more than that were two
Oilers
other
and
playoff
Bills.
games across the big one, Buffalo and Houston.
Yep.
So we're going to go with that, And now I'm going to go real quick to the Giants.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk too much. I'm going to give my hats off to Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and Davo. Jones was given no chance this year because they didn't pick up his fifth-year option. He's with the right coach in the right system and has proven he can be a leader of the team.
All that.
So the Giants now have him and Barkley. One of them they're going to have to franchise tag, and the other one they're going to have to give a contract to. You can't let them both walk.
It's going to be interesting, too, because I don't know which way you go. And it really depends on what Daniel Jones thinks he's worth, right? Is he,
I think he's worth in the 30.
That's right. What does he
just
think
based
he's
on other
worth?
quarterback, $30 million
Well, what
range.
does he think he's worth? If he comes to grips with that, says, yep, give me $33, $35 million a year, Steph, because that's all he gets, then okay, then you can go deal with Barkley and even franchise Barkley. If he thinks he's a $45 million quarterback, then you got a real issue.
I don't think I think he's smart enough to know he's not in that Mahomes, Burrows range.
All right.
Josh Allen, he knows that. He's a tier below, but just for what they've done, and to go into Minnesota and do what they did yesterday.
100%. Nope, that's right.
So, and then also, lastly, the Lobos, hats off to them. I thought they were going to lose in San Diego State. They proved me wrong. To go in and do what they did in San Diego State after, to the early losses in conference, this is a signature win for them that they can build on for the rest of the season.
100%. All right, man, have a good week. All right, a couple things. Daniel Jones thing of the Giants, right? So they got to figure out, can they sign Barkley and Daniel Jones? If Daniel Jones, and if they offer him, what offer him 4 years, $125 million? Right? What is that, $35 million a year? That would be $140 million, right? So if he gets about $140 million, it's generational wealth for a guy who was about ready to be thrown on the scrap heap. It's a bargain for a quarterback. He should be pretty stoked with that, right?
He should be.
Okay. Then you can go out after Barkley, because I think the days of paying $14, $15 million a year for a running back are gone. Long term. You disagree with that?
I don't.
And I don't care how young he is. I mean, that's a guy who's lost 2 years to injury anyway. The quarterbacks who bet on themselves this year, Lamar Jackson, and not even bet on themselves. The quarterbacks who had to get it done this year, Geno Smith, Lamar Jackson, Daniel Jones. I would say Geno and Daniel Jones won. I think the verdict's out on Lamar, right?
Woo, did that get even more interesting this weekend?
Yeah, when he didn't show up. Yes. All right, we're going to talk Lobo Hoops next. Richard Pitino's going to be with us after what I think is the biggest win in 8 years for that program. What does it mean? How did it happen? Talk about the defense. Who came up with the idea to put Josiah Allick on Matt Bradley? Because obviously that was terrific. It's coming up next. Glad you're with us on a Martin Luther King Day Monday. It's the opening drive. Thank you for listening to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420.
Cumulus Media Station, the sports animal. Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. Don't sweat the technique. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, A. Marie Castillo, and JJ Bach.
Well, last week they sold out the pit for the first time since 2015, and I would argue that this victory over San Diego State 2 nights ago was the Lobo men's basketball team's greatest victory probably in the last 8 years. I think the biggest victory certainly in Richard Pitino's now year and a half as head coach. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. We'll get back to phones in a little bit. San Jose State will be in the pit tomorrow night as the Lobos continue conference play, coming off of a 76-67 victory in San Diego against the 23rd ranked Aztecs, moving all the way up to 36 in the net rankings and getting another quality road win. Lobos head coach is Richard Pitino. He joins us this morning. Congratulations. That's a hell of a victory on Saturday night.
Thank you. Yeah, our guys were they were dialed in right from the jump. I think we were disappointed, obviously, that we dropped that UNLV game at home, and we felt as though if we can go get this one at San Diego State, it could kind of erase that a little bit. And I just thought if we hadn't played them at their place last year and been pretty much manhandled, we probably would not have responded the way that we did. So our guys were tough, they were physical, they were scrappy, and just very, very poised down the stretch because obviously, as we all know, San Diego State does not lose a lot of games in that place. So a terrific win this early in the process.
I think there's so many angles on this, and one of them, and this just proves you can't tell the story of a basketball game by looking at the box score necessarily. Josiah Alec, you look at the box score, he said, well, he played 32 minutes and only had 2 rebounds and didn't score. But putting him on Matt Bradley, and I don't know if that was your idea, or whoever scouted the game, or your staff's idea. Who came up with that concept? Because obviously that really worked and frustrated their best player.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to say, we are the only team that ever thought of that. But, I was watching the St. Mary's game, and St. Mary's has kind of similar personnel to us and does a lot of stylistically things that we play faster than St. Mary's. But when I was watching them, I just thought, okay, Josiah can do what their 4-man did. And we thought, okay, if we put a smaller, maybe like a MASH, he'll be able to shoot over him. But Josiah, the beauty of him is he can really guard 1 through 5. And so we just felt like we put a little sides on him that would work. And it certainly was really good at the beginning of the game.
Richard, how big is of it when you're on the road, you're in an environment like that? You've had to come back in games as the St. Mary's one where you got off to a slow start, but having a good start in that environment, how much does that help then weather what's coming from the opposing team?
What I did before the game when I was talking to the team was I wrote on the board the championship since the Mountain West started, and I think it was 1999, and the 2 top teams that have won the most championships, whether it's regular season or the conference tournament, is San Diego State and New Mexico. And I said, listen, guys, we obviously are in a major rebuild, but we need to start walking into these arenas with a high level of confidence and swagger to us that we're New Mexico and that we expect to win. We understand and we respect every opponent that we play, but walk into the BAS Center with a little bit of swagger, not over the top by any means. We want to have a certain level of humility, but go in there expecting to win. Start acting like the New Mexico of old. And they did that. They were right away, they were confident. I thought we had a great game plan, that we had great preparation leading up to the game in practice. And our guys really did believe it. They expected to win, and it was fun to watch.
Richard, and in that second half, when San Diego State went on that 17-7 run, it had that feel of past games where it's just tight, everything is tough, whether it's offense, defense. What was the key for your team to withstand that second half punch, then be able to respond and close it out?
Yeah, we were very poised, probably similar to at St. Mary's, where at UNLV at home we were not as poised, especially on the offensive side of it. But at the end of the day, we knew they were going to come back. They're a really good team. They're a really good program. Coach Dutcher does a great job. And I thought Jalen House obviously made some big plays. Jamal Mashburn Jr. made some big plays. And that's really been the difference of some of our wins and losses where at Fresno and UNLV at home, we just were not able to make that big shot or make that big free throw, where at San Diego State we did. And, when you have experienced guys, they just seem to be in the present moment ready to go. And I thought,
Global basketball coach Richard Pitino is with us. Richard, and the phone cut out a little bit. I hear you back. I want to get into your backcourt a little bit. There was some quotes in the paper. San Diego State's guards were saying, we'll see. We keep hearing about how their backcourt's the best in the league. Mash and House were terrific. At 29 and 21 points, they controlled the game. They didn't turn the ball over. Defensively, they played well. They hit big shots, and Mash is solid. House is, I think, the most dynamic player that I've seen around here in years. Your backcourt was the difference on Saturday night.
Yeah, they were terrific. I think House's shot-making ability down the stretch was big. Yeah, I even thought Jamal his mid-range shot was cooking. His free throws were great. He was getting to the rim on their switches. They're really good. I mean, they really are. Are they the best in the conference? I don't know. I mean, I think at the end of the day, they've got a great competitive spirit to them. Jalen's obviously very, very emotional, which can be great and can be a detriment at times. But, there's a balance there, and I think he's certainly been able to figure it out. And then Jamal is way more just even keel. But they both complement each other very, very well. And, that's the key. When you got really good experienced guards, it gives you a chance.
You talk about the emotion, and you got the technical. I'm not asking you to do editorials on the call. It didn't. I will. It didn't seem like he did anything that he hadn't done before, and didn't look like he was talking to anybody. But you did bring him over and talk to him. And what was the messaging there? Because obviously it was a key point in the game, and it could have gone either way when he got the technical, and it seemed to dial him back in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he deserved the technical for what he did at the present time, but it was a buildup that we talked to him about. Like, you didn't deserve the technical then, but you got to let your game do the talking. And Jalen is a bit of he's a performer in a certain way. And I told him, after the game, I'm like, you ever watch WWE? You were trying to turn the whole crowd against you, and he relished that. But he's got to ignore fans. He said, well, fans are yelling at me. I'm like, that's what fans are going to do everywhere, Jalen. But the refs don't officiate the fans. They're going to officiate you. So I thought it was a buildup of maybe some prior things, and he just needs to cut it out. He needs to find a way to continue to motivate himself like he's doing through that, but not concern himself with if somebody in the crowd is yelling at him. That's the nature of the beast. He played phenomenal. I told him after the game, you got to let your game do the talking. You can show emotion, certainly, but you never want an NBA scout or a pro scout to watch that and leave with, oh, he got a technical in a crucial moment. Because you could say, well, coach, let me be. But at the end of the day, that was a 5-point swing. We were playing great, and that flipped quickly. So he understands that. He just gets a little, going a little bit and gets very, very emotional at times.
Now, Richard, your role with this team, and everything that comes with the head coach, you mentioned the balance between Mash and House in the backcourt, but really the chemistry between everybody, the kind of the players policing themselves in those moments. How big is it? And when you can let this team run, when you don't have to take those quick timeouts, and maybe the players on the floor can get through certain situations?
I've had an interesting career. So this is year 11 of being a head coach, and I've been, basically on the hot seat, and then I come back and I win Big Ten Coach of the Year. So I can see the volatility of it, and it's really funny. My best year at Minnesota, I told people all the time, was when I got Big Ten Coach of the Year, we made the tournament, and it was the least amount of coaching that I did. And this team is very, very similar in a lot of ways. Now, you've got to help them, and you've got to give them the game plan and put them in position to succeed. But when it's time to go, they can go, and they don't really panic. The culture in the locker room is terrific. Even the role guys understand their role, and they embrace it, and they're not frustrated with, oh, I didn't play this much or whatever. So I think what we've been able to do so early in the process is bring the right guys in, and that's not always easy. And so they've been a lot of fun to coach. I mean, they're very, very receptive to what we're trying to do. They've got a very good basketball IQ, and it allows them, like you said, you don't always have to call a timeout. They're normally going to respond the right way. And they've been very, very mature in their approach on a daily basis.
All right, you got a big one tomorrow night, and people may look at it and say, well, you just beat San Diego State. You can't look at it that way. A San Jose State team that Tim's put together comes in. They beat Fresno State, who caught you. They beat UNLV, who beat you in your place. Maybe that'll get the attention. Maybe getting beat by those guys has your attention, the attention of your players. But they all count, right? And at 3-2 now, this thing is really packed up. You've got an opportunity to do some big things. Tim Miles has put together a nice squad, turned that thing around. They're 12-6, and they're beating people. You get a tough one tomorrow night that you guys have to refocus on.
I told our guys yesterday, we landed yesterday, and we came right to the facility, and we watched some film. And I said, guys, after 18 games, what I can tell you is you have put yourself in a legit position to do some big things. Go all in. Go all in with your prep. Go all in with what you're doing when you're not around us. Make sure you're getting rest. Make sure you're getting recovery. It's no different than when LeBron gets off of social media during the playoffs. That's what we've put ourselves in a position to do with wins at St. Mary's, with wins at San Diego State. You put yourself in a great spot. So now you got to be laser focused. When it's time to practice, it's got to be your best practice because, as you said, I mean, San Jose can beat anybody. They beat the teams that beat us. So I think our guys will be focused. I think that they're very, very confident right now, which is great. We want them to be, but they also understand that there's still a lot of basketball to be played. It's amazing just the ebbs and flows of the seasons where just about a week or so ago, everybody's not that fans are on us, but maybe they're sitting there going, oh, they're overrated. Well, then you go and you get that big win at San Diego State. So just stay dialed in, stay locked in on the process of just getting better every single day. Because as you know, this league, there are no bad teams. There are no teams that are, maybe a coach is going to get fired or maybe they're in a major rebuild. Anybody can beat anybody, and all these wins are going to be quality wins. So tomorrow is a terrific opportunity.
Well, anybody hadn't been beaten San Diego State. You're the only one in this league who's done it so far. It was a big one, as big as I think Global Fan has seen in a while, and you have an opportunity to grow it tomorrow night in the pit against San Jose State. Richard, always appreciate the conversation. Good luck tomorrow night. Congratulations on the success so far. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Be well. Richard Pitino, the head basketball coach at UNM. A couple of things in there, right? And there was some gold in there. But I want your thoughts on the victory, but what you heard and what it means, right? Where does it go? I thought he had some really interesting things on House. What he said, he just needs to cut it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let your game do the talking. You can have about harnessing that emotion.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. You can get in on that, and the NFL's open for you as well. I want to tell you about John Thomas Jewelers. I went in and I met John. I went through their facility, and as impressed as I've been by any jeweler, I think, ever. This is not your regular jewelry store that you just kind of walk into and pick something out of the case. This is custom-made, high-end jewelry, and you're going to be amazed at what they can do, and you're going to be amazed at the affordability. Basically, if you can dream it, they can make it. So when you're ready to make your girlfriend your wife, when you're ready to stop introducing her as your girlfriend and you want to introduce her as your wife, John Thomas Jewelers will make her the diamond that makes the transformation complete. Be sure to stop in, take a look at them. They will. They pull out this drawer, and there's all the. It can be overwhelming, but they'll walk you through it. Because the whole process can be overwhelming, right? You walk into any jewelry store, if this isn't your thing, John or whoever's there will walk you through it, and you'll pick out different bands. You'll look at them. Okay, what about the stone? And they'll put different stones in there, and then they'll put it up on the graphic, and you say, well, I want some diamonds down the side. Okay, here's how that'll look. And then when you're all done, they'll make you a 3D one of those printers, and you'll have an idea of what it looks like. This is something like I've never seen before. They're the only master IJO certified jeweler in Albuquerque. They're the only store in Albuquerque that travels to Antwerp, the diamond capital of the world, to hand select their diamonds. They've got the only 3D capable laser engraver in the state. This is a different spot, and I was insanely impressed. When you're ready, this is your spot for all your jewelry needs. It's on the 3rd floor of the Lewis University building on Louisiana, 1 block south of Manal, on the east side, across the street from the mall, right there, kind of just south of Louisiana, south of Manal in Louisiana. It's John Thomas Jewelers. If you can dream it, they can make it. Go see them.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young, here's one up off the rim. Jarek Dudahl with that shot, and Mask underneath. Defense is not there in time. Good move by Justin Mask.
Well, first. Nice pass. That's working that flex offense right there. And there's another timeout for Coach Bardella.
Montez scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit.
And Coach Segura said there have been some injuries on preps as far as the players, so maybe he's playing zone right now.
Fight's 3 is good. Jackson Fight knocks it down from the left side for the Sun Devils. They lead by 10.
They're playing.
A perfect 36 on his ACT composite. Big 3! Buried in by Dylan McCleskey.
Trifectas of her own. Fires it off down low. Campos off the glass, and there it is.
Look how quick this shot. They got a shot up with 5 seconds. Transition 3 is up, and it's hit at the buzzer by Ian Hoingsberg. Picture perfect execution. Ball that hit the ground in 5 seconds.
Ball is stolen away by Montoya. Sartans are on the break. Calb finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Calb. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Calb.
Go one-on-one, and this is good things usually have. Oh, great.
A.J. Rivera.
I think the story in this one is the pressure defense that has turned up. They force another turnover. Calb's on the break.
Throw it down.
Calb puts it down. Brian Calb with the dunk in transition.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports.
4 till 7 on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Cowboys Buccaneers tonight. You'll hear it right here on the Sports Animal. The final game of the NFL Super Wild Card Weekend. We'll be all set to go into the divisional round. So that's coming up tonight. Rich Pitino was just with us. A couple of things that just really stood out. I asked him, whose idea was it on the Josiah Alec defensive assignment to put him on their San Diego State's best player, Matt Bradley. And JJ, I thought it was going to be, maybe one of our coaches came up with it or whoever had the scout. He said he saw St. Mary's do something similar as they were watching film and getting ready for this game, and thought that Josiah, he said, who can guard anyone from 1 to 5 on the floor, might be able to pull it off. And I thought it was fantastic. You give the credit to Richard for deciding to do it, and even more credit for Josiah for pulling it off.
Absolutely. That's what watching film is all about, is seeing if there's any tendencies you can pick up, stealing things from other teams, because everyone runs stuff that's similar, tweaks. And in sports, it's about execution. You are very rarely going to surprise someone with what you throw out there over the course of a season. So if you can pick something up from someone else that you weren't thinking about it and use it, that's the whole point of watching film.
Jared, good morning to you.
Good morning. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but as a 46-year fan of the Eagles, Mr. Prescott, listen, bro, I really hope you got a good night's sleep on your sleep number bed, because you got to beat the Bucs tonight, because if Brady wins, I'm going to have agita for weeks, bro. And I just need you to make this happen. And this is coming from an Eagles fan. I'm rooting for the Cowboys tonight. I can't believe it. And I hope tomorrow when we wake up or when we go to bed tonight, everything gets centered in this universe of ours, because if Brady pulls it off, I don't know. I'm going to have to eat my shoe or something. But thanks, guys. Have a good day.
All right, Jared. I hope he has something better to eat than his shoe. The Eagles are getting the Giants one way or the other, right? Yes. The Eagles get the Giants one way or the other. So he can't be Brady. Did you see the report this weekend? The Raiders are going all in on Brady, which makes 1,000% sense. With Josh McDaniels as their coach, the former offensive coordinator at New England, and Brady probably, his contract up, and everybody think he's going somewhere. I mean, there's no surprise, but it just kind of came out that was where they were going, right?
Yeah, it's everyone running down that lane. It makes sense. If you're moving on from Derek Carr, I think you got some pieces in place. It feels like if you go back the past relationships, that was a very good one between Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels.
I've talked to a number of Raider fan who that's their biggest fear, by the way, that they're going to go after Brady.
Why?
Because they think he's done. They don't think that he gets them over the top, that there's better options out there that have more in them to get the Raiders where Raider fan thinks they should be. Now, I mean, it's all selective.
Who are those better options right now?
Who are those better options
You're
right now?
Maybe trade up.
Well, they think
they
somehow think they can get Lamar, first of all. And we've been over this a million times. I just don't know how. I just don't know how you're doing that. There's some who think Jim Garoppolo is, which I'm not sure I'm there either. But yeah, there's that conversation. Bruin James, good morning. What's up, James?
Good morning, guys. Good to hear that the Lobos are doing good, I knew a couple of kids from Bishop Montgomery that went to San Diego State. So, man, that's a good win. Especially in San Diego.
Yeah,
that's a good win.
Yep.
Congratulations. I'm glad you guys turning the corner and doing well. It's good to hear that. One more thing is a couple of things. If you're the Minnesota Vikings, it's time to let Kirk Cousins go. And the reason I say that, he's not a winner. He never was a winner. He doesn't have that it factor. And he doesn't have it. He just doesn't have that winning persona. He's not a winner. And when you throw a ball to the tight end,
4 yards short on an 8 yard.
6 yards yards short. Come on, guys. You know what? You got the playoffs. You got everything on the line, and you're going to throw it short?
Yep. It's a big deal.
I mean, that's crazy.
It was a big play.
You know, and I hate to say that, but Amory, man, I mean, you got to move away from him. And then in all NFL teams, you don't even go near him, guys. I mean, this guy is a loser with a capital L.
All right, James.
So, and all right.
See
hey,
ya.
take care, guys.
See ya. So the play he's talking about, 4th down and 8, season on the line, and Kirk Cousins threw the tight end on a 4-yard route, and obviously it was short, and they lose to the Giants. I don't know if I think he's a loser. That team, and I'll read you, Amory sent a text.
If that's your takeaway from that, you're a zombie to the narrative you listen to on the radio all the time. That was a bad throw.
Yep.
You shouldn't have a route concept that short on a 4th down play. Like, you shouldn't even give the quarterback an option when he sees it.
Yep.
The pressure's coming. Like, that's a bad play. But if you watch that game and your only takeaway is Kirk Cousins a loser, then you don't know what you're seeing. That game was lost because of the Vikings defense. There was zero pressure, and that the defense was bad all year long. If you want to say there's better options out there than Kirk Cousins, I'll listen to that talk, because you always have to be looking at your options. So you're going to go from loser Derek Carr to, loser Kirk Cousins to winner Derek Carr, which is what everyone thinks is the next big step, which could be really interesting, because Derek Carr could be Matthew Stafford 2.0 in terms of coming off a team where they were below 500 with him as a starting quarterback.
And goes and gets one.
Didn't quite work out. So I will listen to that, because you have to be progressive. You have to be thinking about the big picture constantly at the quarterback position. But I just find it hard to look at that game and go, well, he made that throw at the end, so he's a loser.
I agree with that, and I thought the defense was bad. Now, he's not a winner because he hasn't won in the big moments. So if you believe you're either a winner or a loser, okay, he's got to win at some point. Now, they didn't. Omar's in, the Vikings go down. Jeff, can you see why Omar just about drove off the side of the road laughing a few weeks ago when you said this could be the year that Minnesota feels what it's like to wear that NFL championship belt? Okay. Amory is not here today, not because the Vikings lost, by the way. She sent in that she couldn't come in before that. But she said, I didn't want people to think as a fan I wasn't coming to work today. I'm tending to a personal matter. First off, go Lobos. Second off, Skol Vikings. I'm always an optimistic fan. I keep reading the Vikings are frauds. They're not frauds. They won 13 games this season because of a high-powered offense. Their defense sucked. New GM, new coach, won a division, and made the playoffs. The saddest part for me is not losing a playoff game after this unexpected season, but this is the end of an era because players we all love, Kendricks, Thielen, Hunter, Cook, and Harrison Smith, might not be in purple next year. Cheers to the future of the O'Connell era. I'm excited. Skol. That's A. Marie. So she is in today. You guys are ripping the Vikings, though. And that's fair. Mm-hmm. They're the only team that lost at home so far. The only home playoff loss. The 2-seed lost to the 6. Their defense isn't good. They couldn't make a stop. And it ended on a 4-yard route on 4th and 8.
I don't know why. I need to talk to a coach. Like, why you even... What was C.J. Hawkinson opening up running that route? So far away from the 6, not near anyone else. Because it's all about concept. And the other term I heard more than anything was layered this weekend. Layered routes, running into open windows. But why you'd even give your quarterback that look on a 4th down that short of the sticks.
Yeah, it does you no good. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. I got a bunch of your thoughts on rookie quarterbacks in general, the Vikings, Cowboys tonight against Tommy. It's the opening drive. Steph is in for A. Marie. Adrian's producing on the visual medium. It's just merely me and JJ Buck. Thank you for listening to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food.
Who backup quarterback was in a position to win in Cincinnati. And they get down to the goal line, and they got a battering ram in J.K. Dobbins. And they run a sneak with Tyler Huntley, and their head coach says he was supposed to go low. Huntley tries to go over the top and stretch the ball out a la Brady, and he gets knocked out, and they go the other way 98 yards. And ball game.
98 yards.
I mean, you want to talk about calls? You want to talk about Brandon Staley? I'm a big Jim Harbaugh guy, and I think he got so much out of that team and put him in a position to win. Now, he says the call wasn't to try to go over the top. It was to sneak the quarterback low. But I got J.K. Dobbins. This feels like a Marshawn Lynch moment to me. You know what I mean?
It does. When you see him go high from that distance.
What are you doing?
I would have been fine with the sneak if you just stayed low,
100%.
powered it through, because we saw plenty of other QB runs that worked in
including
that game.
with
QB
them,
sneaks with Huntley. It was, oof.
Yeah.
It was an unbelievable play. Right when it fell in Hubbard's hands, you're like, there's no one on this field. It's goal line personnel.
Yeah.
The only two people that could run him down didn't get there. It was J.K. Dobbins
and
Mark Andrews. And there was a convoy of Bengals leading him to the end zone. And that won the game. Is that Baltimore defense is why I thought they were going to cover. That is the best defense in the league outside of San Francisco, is the Baltimore Ravens unit. With what they have done to end the season with Huntley and Brown playing the quarterback position. Now it's probably the best Huntley has played this year in that game.
He was good enough to win. He was good enough to win except for on that play. So if you want to talk about decisions, that's one of them. Edward, good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, good morning, folks. Overreaction Monday. So Lobo basketball, I'm so impressed with this coach, and they didn't have a good 3 or 4 game stretch, and they got back on trajectory. And I thoroughly enjoy his interviews and his philosophies. So congratulations. Good win. Great win. Hey, Edelman used to speak in detail that during their run, Belichick would say, do not reach for the goal line. Because of the touchback rule, the risk reward is low, unless it's 4th down, right, or certain circumstances. And that was a prime example last night where you're reaching for the goal line and the worst outcome occurred, and it cost the game. JJ's right. It flipped the game, and it won the game. So I don't agree with the touchback rule. I think it penalizes the offensive team too much, but we don't have to dissect that today. Hey, the chickens have come home to roost on the Cowboys organization. The pressure's on. Not because Thomas Edward Brady has authored 35 playoff wins in his career, which is exactly tied in the Cowboys' history. But the Jacksonville Jaguars now, since the Cowboys' last Super Bowl, now have 6 playoff wins with 2 AFC championship appearances. And the Cowboys have 3 wild card appearances in 20-some years, almost 30 years. So the chickens have they're nervous. They're not only nervous, but Philadelphia Eagle fan is nervous.
I heard that.
JJ said this all year. JJ has said this all year, and I am 100% in agree with him. The Bucs are terrible. The Buccaneers are terrible. They won 8 games. They probably were a 4 or 5 win team, quite honestly.
But
they're terrible, Jeff.
But
let me say this: Bowles, with his idiotic, stoic smile on the sideline, they're the worst team in the league at rushing the ball. And you know what they're going to try to do tonight?
Run the ball.
Establish the run. Yeah. 1st down runs for half a yard. That's exactly what he's going to do. The Buccaneers' only chance is to come out throwing the ball in a tempo offense, spread the field, and see what happens. But they're not smart enough to do that. So I think it's going to be Cowboys 27, Buccaneers 17. Let me say this about Cowboy fans as well. They love themselves some Tony Romo and Dak Prescott. There's a 6th-round draft pick who had 4 touchdowns in his first playoff game and threw for over 300 and some yards and rushed for a touchdown. Mr. Purdy. And he's undefeated since he took over the reins of that organization. Now, they have a great roster. They have the best roster. They would be ecstatic and slapping themselves with mops and everything under the sun if their quarterback did that.
Slapping
Brock
themselves
Purdy
with mops?
is going to go to the Super. He's slapping themselves with the mop. Hey, it's a form of excitement in some third world countries.
Yeah, knock yourself out.
Brock Purdy is going to play in. He's going to play in the Super Bowl this year as a 6th-round draft pick. We've seen it before. And he's going to and they caught a break, I think, by getting I think they're going to play the Giants, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they're playing the winner tonight.
I think they're going to soundly beat the Giants.
No.
Oh, they play the winner tonight. I'm sorry. They do. They play the winner tonight. You're absolutely correct.
I know.
They're going to play in the NFC Championship, and he's going to get to the Super Bowl with a chance to win it as a rookie quarterback. That's never been done.
That's right.
And I'm here for it. But I wish Tom Brady would win tonight. I just don't feel they're so bad and coached so poorly. I just don't see it happening. Something weird will happen, and it's going to be unfortunate.
All right.
Anyway, I appreciate you letting me share my thoughts. Have a great day and enjoy the game tonight.
All right, so he's got Tommy to lose to the Cowboys, and getting slapped. Have you ever heard that expression? They'd be slapping themselves with mops. Can I tell you? I don't even know what the hell that means. Is that good or bad? Is that a form of punishment or excitement? I don't even know.
I don't even know how.
I know. Jess, good morning.
Good morning. You did say it was a form of excitement.
Yeah.
I mean, to each their own.
Do what you do.
Hopefully it's a clean mop, huh?
That'd be better.
I'm glad A. Marie texted in. Your team was a fraud. Sorry. They were fraudish all year long. Because how do you know they were a fraud? Because everybody said they were a fraud. Nobody was afraid of them in the playoffs, as they usually are. Nobody was afraid of them in prime time. Nobody's afraid of Kirk Cousins. Just because he partied once on the plane with his chains and his sunglasses with the shirt off once for a meaningless win, by the way, as the most wins for the Vikings organization are, meaningless. And I kind of feel bad because she says it's the end of an era for certain players, I suppose. What an exciting era. You won maybe a couple of NFC North titles. You beat Aaron Rodgers like twice. And then you barely made the second round of the playoffs, right? And it took a miracle, I believe, correct? They call it the miracle in Minneapolis.
They do when they beat the Saints.
It took a miracle for you guys to win one game in the playoffs. You're a fraud. You've always been a fraud. Even Fran knows it. Moving on. It's a tough one for me tonight, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who I want to lose more.
Yeah, who do you dislike?
I want it to be the end of an era. Speaking of end of eras, I think it should be the end of the Thomas Edward Brady era. So we don't have to hear his middle name anymore. But I also don't want the Cowboys to win because I hate them. So I think I'm going to root for Tom Brady. And I think he's going to win just because I'm pretty sure even if they win, they ain't going anywhere the rest of the playoffs. There's no way they're going on some sort of another magical run. And if they do, I'm going to question steroids and Adderall. But maybe we'll get a really exciting game where it's close and Tommy knows this could be the end and he starts yelling at a lineman like he'd yell at his 12-year-old son. Or, like, I can't believe I got divorced to come here to lose. I'm hoping for something like a great epic meltdown. I wish they could both lose. But it is what it is. And an exciting win by the Lobos always makes so good when we go into that old lady arena, Viejas. We go in there and just shut it down. Beautiful, beautiful, Jeffrey. You guys have a great day, by the way.
Jess.
And Skull.
Oh, just his laugh at the end of the skull is beautiful.
I just had to look up what skull meant.
That's the whole Vikings thing, right? What does it, like, is there a literal meaning to it?
Yeah, it's like Celtic or something like that. It's like good health, cheers.
All right, I'm down with that. Who doesn't want good health and cheers?
Right.
Right? Who do you like tonight? Cowboys or Tommy?
Dun, dun, dun.
Cowboys got to win tonight, right?
Oh,
The Cowboys are under the most pressure of any team in the playoffs. It's the Dallas Cowboys.
I would have told you Minnesota's right up
Nope.
there. I would have told you. Yeah,
Nope.
no, I think so.
Nope.
And
Dallas
you
Cowboys.
clear Minnesota because they have a first-year coach? They weren't in the playoffs last year. Chargers were under a little, especially when they were up 27-0. Yeah, fair enough. Cowboys and the Bills need to prove something to themselves. All right, but
Well, Josh
Cowboys
Allen
were
was out there doing his best Red Hot Chili Pepper impression.
tried.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
tried. He tried. Trevor Lawrence was better than him at it. He gave it away 5 times, and they still won.
And he
both of
got to party at the Waffle House
and
post game.
both of them got to win. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming on the football and on the Lobos. Is it true? Do you firmly believe that the Cowboys had the most pressure to win? And how will they win tonight? They've got to shut down Super Tommy. This is his time of year, right? This is when he is that guy. I don't care if he's 45 years old or not. The reason he's the best is because what he does in the playoffs, correct? How do they shut him down? Tell you how to shut down the bad guys. Call IPS, International Protective Service. The bad guys are out there. Property crime is on a rise. It continues to go up. The officer shortage continues to be an issue, and so there is an option for you out there. It's private security that's affordable. It's International Protective Service. IPS is highly trained armed guards and 24-hour patrols that protect businesses and homes throughout the metro area. So they started back in 2006, and Aaron Jones opened this company providing security for homeowners in Fort Hills. 17 years later, homeowners and business owners all over Albuquerque trust IPS to protect what they've worked so hard to build. Because Aaron's from here, he's so passionate about making Albuquerque a safer and a better place to live and work. They watch your home, they watch your business with highly trained armed guards and 24-hour patrols. Give them a call, committed to our city and to your protection. IPS's number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420 or online at ipsglobal.com.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're going
out there slapping yourself with a mop on Martin Luther King Day. Jess said, or no, this is about Jess. Jess, when 2 teams you can't stand play one another, you just root for a lot of injuries. That's what I'm just reading it, man.
Sometimes, man.
Let's go Cowboys, it says. Defeat the overrated Tom Brady. Sincerely, a Dallas hater who thinks this undeserved hype for Mr. B is annoyingly ratings-driven malarkey. Okay.
Right. Everybody's just cheering for the Cowboys because they just so don't want Brady to win.
I think there's a lot of that. How is he overrated? I'm just asking. I mean,
like in the now?
In the now, he might be overrated. Still decent. Still pretty good. I mean, every measurable stat on his career, it's hard to overrate that, isn't it? Every stat has him as the best. The Vikings are frauds. Just goes to show how, in that Bill Parcells statement, you are what your record says you are is laughable BS. Okay? All right. Could we talk a little bit, and he brought it up, this whole Brock Purdy thing. Brock Purdy was the last guy in the draft last year. Last guy in the draft usually doesn't make the team, let alone is in one of the most high-profile positions when it comes to the playoffs. Brock Purdy, because of injuries to Trey Lance and to Jim Garoppolo, is the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. And Brock Purdy went out and won another game. Brock Purdy is undefeated. Brock Purdy went 18 for 30, threw for 332 yards and 3 touchdowns. Did not throw an interception. Brock Purdy has the team that may have the best roster. And he is not, can we put this to bed, please? He's not just a game manager. He's not just managing games. Brock Purdy is making plays. If your whole concept is, well, they're going to lose because they're playing a rookie quarterback, and kind of I was leaning on that a little bit, and maybe I was hoping. I think that's got to be put to bed, don't you?
The second half was great for Brock Purdy because he was able to build off a mistake-free first half. And there was some bumps in the road, maybe a little anxious, which makes a ton of sense. It's the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's a different feeling when you're stepping on the field with those expectations. And in playoff games, throws were a little high. Maybe he was escaping a little bit too early. But what he did in the second half was settle down, hit those throws, and then when he was escaping, he kept his eyes downfield, made plays. But the biggest thing for me in that first half, he never made the big mistake. He didn't do what Trevor Lawrence did. He didn't do what even Josh Allen did
100%.
In the first half. Turn the football over.
Kid's got composure, and he's got game. Howard, good morning.
Go slap yourself with a mop.
That's what I heard, man. Never heard that before.
Neither have I, but you hear something new every day.
I imagine.
Tell me, guys, what's your opinion? If Cowboys lose tonight, is Mike McCarthy gone?
I don't think so. Now, if they get blued out, maybe, or if they do something, so I just don't think so.
And he's paying for Dak's mistakes somewhat. I mean, I saw Dan Orlovsky on ESPN over the weekend showing a clip where I think 4 or 5 of Dak's interceptions were hitting the guys in the numbers or being tipped. It doesn't matter. That happens to every team, right?
I think so.
I think every team has the same situation. Every team has the ball get tipped. And, I mean, you overcome those mistakes. It's the self-inflicted wounds that are the killers, the ones that are so egregious that you just flat out throw it into the other player's arms. And, I believe the Cowboys are going to win tonight. I'm being very cautiously optimistic. And surprise, surprise, Jess is for Tampa Bay. I think if the Cowboys were playing a Yaffle team, Jess would be for the Yaffle team. That's how much he has a disdain for my Cowboys.
Most people would.
But, I'm going to hang in there with it tonight, and I truly believe they can win. Tampa Bay's not good against the run. They can establish a run, and hopefully Dak can get into a rhythm and quit throwing the ball to the other team. So I'm going to remain cautiously optimistic. Have a good day, guys.
See you. Well, I think if the Cowboys played a Yaffle team, most people would root for the Yaffle team, wouldn't they? Except unless Cowboy fans, like not you, Steph. But they'd slap themselves with a mop and go the other way. Where are you leaning tonight? You haven't really lended.
I'll go Dallas.
I would too.
Everyone knows how this game should play out and could play out. If Dallas turns the football over and gives Tampa Bay the opportunity to stay in the game, maybe even get ahead in the fourth quarter, if it comes down to a drive, Tom Brady's going to make that drive. Dallas plays clean football, can get ahead early in the second half, stave off that pressure from Tom Brady, they win the game.
Yeah, but then it kind of tells you, just watching all the games being so close, it tells you that then it might come down to the last drive, and then that's Tommy. All right, Cowboy fan, you got to get in today and call your shot. I got a lot more thoughts on Brock Purdy, the quarterback of the 49ers. You've got a lot of thoughts on Louisville basketball's victory over San Diego State over the weekend, too. Next up, they're home tomorrow. Quick turnaround, San Jose State is in. It's the opening drive. Adrian's producing on the visual medium. Steph is in for A. Marie today. Jeff Symbieta along with J.J. Buck. Thank you for listening to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's is
5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Cimbietta, A. Marie Castillo, and J.J. Buck.
You guys have so many opinions, and it's actually really cool, on the Lobos' win over San Diego State and all that happened wild card weekend. That's why we're here for you on a holiday for many of you. Glad you're with us. Jeff Cimbietta, J.J. Buck steps in for A. Marie, and Adrian's producing on the visual medium. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal. You can get in on the 377 Brewery Hotline, 505-246-0610. You've been doing that and texting that number as well. Every game's got a pretty insane storyline. Every game's got something you can question. Every game that happened, all 5 games over the weekend in the NFL, has something, whether it's the Jaguars comeback or the Chargers collapse, whether it's Brock Purdy being still perfect as a quarterback, the last overall pick in the draft, whether it's Josh Allen giving the ball away a few times but still finding a way to beat the Dolphins by 3 points and what the Dolphins could have done, whether it's the Giants going into Minnesota knocking off the number 2 seed and Kirk Cousins throwing a 4-yard route on 4th and 8 at the end of the game, or the Ravens trying a quarterback sneak to go up in Cincinnati and having the ball knocked out of Tyler Huntley's hand and go the other way 98 yards for the winning score. All of those things are there, and you get the Cowboys and Buccaneers tonight. Dan says, as much as I want to give credit, JJ, to Micah John, which is Trevor Lawrence, Jeffrey, Juan Jose, Noana Maria y regresando Gato Estefe, I think this is all in San Diego. We watch the Chargers do this every season in Denver for like the last 50 years. It's from Dan. Was the Jags comeback from down 27-0 more a comeback or a collapse?
Collapse.
100%.
That margin at halftime, that's a collapse.
No, I don't. Well, 100%. I mean, if you want to say more, okay, it was more. It wasn't 100% collapse. It was 70-30. I mean, I give a ton of credit.
70-30 is a good percentage.
I give a ton of credit to Jacksonville. I give a ton of credit to Doug Peterson for not letting that team quit, for Trevor Lawrence, who was horrible in the first half, to come back and throw for 4 touchdowns, and for that team to gut it out and find a way defensively. But when you're up 27-0 in a playoff game, and to let that slip away, and you've got a history of doing that in the playoffs, and certainly with this coaching staff, I almost think that's the biggest story so far of the first week of the playoffs. Don't you?
The Chargers.
Yes.
Second half collapse.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, it was almost like they received some type of news in the locker room, and then once they came out, they were like, "We're not playing."
That's interesting, right?
It was the one that had the most on the line for the head coach, because we're looking at the rest of these games. No one's firing their coach. Minnesota, you can be frustrated and yell at Kirk Cousins all you want. It's year 1, Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, fair enough.
They like their direction in the franchise. I think Mike McDaniel and the Miami Dolphins pulled off an unbelievable performance with Skylar Thompson.
With a third-string quarterback, yeah.
As their quarterback, and everyone was saying that was the game. Yeah, take 13.5 points.
Yep.
That's a no-brainer. And speaking of starts, they're down 17-0. Could have folded just like Jacksonville did.
Yep.
The one maybe is Tampa Bay. They're an under 500 team. Tom Brady, everyone's saying he's going to be playing for the Raiders next season. Could Todd Bowles be on his way out?
What about both?
Potentially.
Both these coaches could be coaching for their job tonight, right? I mean, we just had a question about Mike McCarthy, and they both could.
And it's a pressure of Sean Payton sitting out there. And for the Chargers, their fans think that's a no-brainer. If Jerry Jones watches his team lose tonight, is he blaming it on Mike McCarthy?
Other unexpected quarterback-wise, according to some vocal critics of rookies, Mr. Brock Purdy is surprisingly on a run. I can't understand the shock since I thought Mr. Purdy always was likely to succeed. Looking, acting like Joe Montana. If/when San Francisco wins the Super Bowl with Mr. 200 whatever, teams will likely draft well and tell Mr. Brady to get lost. So he saw Brock Purdy coming. This texter says he saw it coming. Why has anybody expected that he's or why is anybody surprised that Brock Purdy's undefeated? All right. I mean, God bless you if you saw it coming. If you saw the last guy in the draft quarterback in a team like this being undefeated, you should get a job in the NFL. You should be a scout, right? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't. No way. No way did I. And that's why he was a third string guy, by the way.
Well, I kind of almost see it in the same way as that not every Heisman Trophy winner is the best player either. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah,
Like-
but the draft is so, there's so much research that goes into it. Like
Yeah,
the
that's-
last guy, the last 260 whatever, the very last pick of the draft. Can we just wrap this up so we can stop being on TV now after the last 3 days? Like literally. All right, and then with the last
Right.
pick, they picked, and they call him Mr. Irrelevant. Like we went through 6 rounds, the very last dude, okay, good, we're done. And now that guy? That guy's leading the way?
He's young.
It's a great story.
You could be done with Tom Brady because you're tired of him winning.
That's right.
But Tom Brady, like you look at the numbers this season, and there's nothing that tells you that
He's done.
he's the reason that the Buccaneers are struggling.
Well, hardly, in fact. Hardly. Tom Brady's stats this year.
Third most yards in the league with a struggling team and offense. His completion percentage is better than Joe Burrow. No, excuse me, he's right there with Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. 66 to 68%. There's 9 interceptions.
His numbers don't tell you he's done. No, his numbers don't tell you he's done. There's no way. But is he done? How does he want to go out? Right? How does he want to go out is really what it comes down to. I mean, if you look at regular season numbers, he threw for 46, almost 4,700 yards. That is third in the league in passing yards, behind Mahomes and Herbert. Better than Cousins, better than Burrows, better. I mean, all those guys. You want to go down and look at numbers, all you want. The numbers tell you, and if you had him on your fantasy team, you know. Numbers told you he was pretty good. All right, text line. Yay, the overrated Vikings lost their first round elimination playoff game of the year, and thus are close to putting them out of their misery, since people maybe will stop talking about them being the team they never really were. As a side note, Minnesota didn't have the opposing quarterback's mistakes to credit for their successes, as Daniel Jones proved himself reliable. Sincerely, one who saw Daniel Jones' eventual success a mile away a year ago. Same dude who it's the same phone number who saw Brock Purdy coming a mile away. Yeah. Same phone number.
Poor Vikings.
I told you when the Giants drafted Daniel Jones that you give it to the 4th year and he will prove he can be a top 10 quarterback.
Did you say that?
Of course he did. Pull the tape.
Really?
100%.
Pull the tape. Steph, can you find that?
I'll find it.
Yeah.
The archives.
I think there's a tab on it. This is JJ's take on Daniel Jones. Really? Did you?
Yeah.
All right. Daniel Jones.
Just kidding.
Here's what Daniel Jones has. 2 things. Daniel Jones is bigger than you think he is. And he is as good a mobile quarterback as most. Now, I will give you Lamar Jackson, probably a little bit better mobile on the outside.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson.
But after that,
Justin Fields.
He's pretty damn good. Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones is athletic. He's not explosive in the run game, and that's why teams fall asleep on. because he's fast enough to get outside. He's big enough. He absorbs the contact. And you're like, wait a second, this dude has 70 yards rushing on us?
And
how did that happen?
Yeah, 17 carries, 78 yards. So he is as much a part of their running offense as the two guys what we just mentioned, Lamar Jackson or Justin Fields. He doesn't look the part. He's not that quintessential mobile quarterback, right? Well, Daniel Jones, a tall white
He's
guy.
got a good
he must be
balance
pocket guy.
to it. And I think you credit Daniel Jones for staying the course himself.
Yes.
And he has been so good this season. He's not turning the football over, playing within the offense, getting exceptional coaching. But he's one of those guys that it's clicked because he was up there when you start talking about quarterbacks, Daniel Jones, Mitch Trubisky, like what are you seeing in these guys? Top 5 picks. Like,
why'd you trade up to get him? Yep.
Daniel Jones, he can make the throws. He's got plus athleticism, and it is a receiving core that you don't know one of their receivers and how they finished the season. Isaiah Hodgins, Richie James, they got a rookie tight end that scored 2 touchdowns.
Daniel
yesterday.
Bellinger. Yep. Here's
and Daniel Jones is throwing good passes in a good concept, making these players explosive.
Isaiah Hodgins, you don't know who he is. He led the way with 8 catches for 100-plus yards.
Is he from Oregon State?
He's from Oregon State, a second-year guy out of Oregon State. Darius Slayton, Richie James, Daniel Bellinger's the tight end, and Lawrence Cager. Don't know who Lawrence Cager is, do you? Georgia. He's a Georgia guy, second season. No, would you say the Giants have I don't want to say worse, but let's just call it that. I mean, who's got less of an attractive receiving core than the Giants in the whole National Football League? No, seriously.
Yeah, they're the no-name receiving core that is putting people on it.
In the whole NFL. There's not one guy. Darius Slayton's the only guy maybe you kind of know a little bit. Maybe Richie James at the end. You picked him up in your fantasy team and didn't play him, or would have won your championship if you did. Not that happened to anybody I know. Nobody. Everybody else, maybe Baltimore, but they got a tight end who's a stallion, right? Nobody else has. There isn't a go-to guy. Now the Giants go out and draft a receiver. They could be really, really good. Really, really good. Quarterback plays crazy because what we learned this weekend is, defense wins championships, but JJ, you better score points in the playoffs this year because the lowest winning score yesterday was 24. 31, 37, 31, 41 over the weekend. You better score some points. The overs were the bet on everything. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Cowboys and Buccaneers tonight. Buccaneers are getting back a key piece on their offense that they did not have all season long. Who are they getting back against the Cowboys tonight, and what sort of difference might it make? That is when we get back on the opening drive. You're in business. Hell, you're in life. You get it. Computers, network, remote access, all of it vital to how your business and your life operates. And now there's hackers out there to threaten everything about your business. ABQ IT provides state-of-the-art cybersecurity. More and more business owners realize that is a necessary part of protecting your data. ABQ IT created a business model that gives you peace of mind knowing your system is secure. They watch for any activity that's malicious. They protect your operation, keep it working efficiently. And best of all, they do it at one predictable monthly cost. So currently, you probably get several bills, right? One from the internet provider, one from a cybersecurity company, another when you buy new equipment. With ABQ IT, there's no hourly rate, no labor billing, no hidden fees or out-of-scope charges. Your rate will be predictable each month and will not change. Business owners, get a free assessment from ABQ IT. Don't worry about your computer problems again. Visit them online. It's abq-it.com. That's abq-it.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young. Here's one up off the rim. Jarek Dudahl with that shot, and Mask underneath. Defense is not there in time. Good move by Justin Mask.
Well, first.
Nice pass. That's working that flex offense right there. And there's another timeout for Coach Bardella.
Montez scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit.
And Coach Segura said there have been some injuries on preps as far as the players, so maybe playing zone right now.
Fight's 3 is good. Jackson Fight knocks it down for the left side, from the left side for the Sun Devils. They lead by 10.
They're playing.
The perfect 36 on his ACT composite. Big 3! Buried in by Dylan McCleskey.
Trifectas of her own. Fires it off down low. Campos off the glass, and there it is.
How quick this shot, they got a shot up with 5 seconds. Transition 3 is up, and it's in at the buzzer by Ian Tonsberg. Picture perfect execution, ball that hit the ground in 5 seconds.
Ball is stolen away by Montoya. Sartans are on the break. Kalb finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Kalb. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Kalb.
Go one-on-one, and this is good things usually have. Oh, great.
H.A. Rivera with... I think the story in this one is the pressure defense that has turned up. They force another turnover. Kalb's on the break.
Throw it down.
Kalb puts it down. Brian Kalb with the dunk in transition.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit
Jeff, it says at 505-246-067 is where you can get a hold of us. You can call us or send us a text. Jeff, for argument's sake, nowhere were there any $225 million quarterbacks in the NFL playoffs this week. Backups did just fine. I rest my case. Big money. How's that $700 driver working for you, A. Marie? Purple? Question mark. What does that mean? $700 driver. Oh, I don't know what that means. So to this texter's point, all 5 of your winning quarterbacks yesterday were on rookie contracts. Joe Burrow, Daniel Jones, Josh Allen, Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence.
Josh Allen got paid.
Does he got paid? All right, so there's one of them. All right. Now, Joe Burrow is going to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence is going to get paid. Daniel Jones is going to get paid, not to that same extent. Guys who lost, the Ravens have a guy that's holding out for a blockbuster. I don't know, well, he is kind of holding out for it. He didn't play, but he's holding, didn't sign. He's holding out for a big dollar quarterback. Vikings quarterback is a big dollar quarterback. Dolphins is not. Seahawks is not. Chargers will get paid. What he's saying is you don't have to have it. Look, you've made this argument a million times, and you're right, and this is one of the keys to the NFL. If you find a quarterback and you got that 4-year window to play him on that rookie deal where you can surround him with everything else, you need to make the most out of that early part of a guy's career. Patrick Mahomes, they did it, right? Because once you pay that guy, your cap becomes a lot tighter with what you can do around him.
And it's also why it's not as simple as Kirk Cousins is a loser, Derek Carr sucks. So who are you moving on from those guys to? Like that's a big picture conversation, because you're moving on from one of those guys to pay someone else money. Attack the draft. That's always possible. You don't have to be in the top 5. You could take a Brock Purdy of the world. I think someone's going to take Stetson Bennett in the 4th round and think they have the next Brock Purdy. Guy that can come in and play right away. But it's one that right now, yeah, that's an easy thing to say. But those guys are getting paid. So if they don't win when they get paid, are they not good? Or is that just the answer you need for what it does to the rest of your team and their salary cap? Because I still look down.
Still need a quarterback, man.
And you look at the Super Bowl quarterbacks, say over the last 10 years. It's mostly been Tom Brady.
Manning's.
Peyton Manning in there.
You have Foles in there once.
You got Nick Foles. You got a Matt Ryan in there.
Yep.
Got a Jared Goff. You got a Jimmy Garoppolo. So it can be done.
Yep.
And I think there is a line where you have to invest. You can't just keep throwing rookie quarterbacks out there and crossing your fingers and saying, hey, we're going to win. Because you still, with the guys that we're talking about, that Trevor Lawrence is the number 1 overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones is top 5 pick.
Joe Burrow's number 1 overall.
So it's not like you're throwing mid-round guys out there. Like, you have a high-level investment
Except
needing a
Brock
high
Purdy.
pick outside of Brock Purdy for these quarterbacks. Justin Herbert was 6. Tua would, if he played, he was 5.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also kind of the other side of it. It's not simple to just, let's go grab one of these rookies when the majority of these guys are also top 10 picks.
JD, good morning.
Good morning. So in regards to the Lobos, I was impressed that they were able to pull it out. The technical foul obviously was the one that bailed them out. I'm sure Mintz is still running laps out in San Diego as we speak. The bigger concern is I don't know if it's an X's and O's thing in the second half, if it's an energy thing. And then I started to think, well, man, I hope it's not a mentality thing where they think, here we go again, we're going to melt down. But that technical definitely saved them. But I'm just curious what your thoughts are about what's going on with them in the second half. And then as far as the NFL, those were some great games, and I was not surprised the Giants pulled it out. I thought Minnesota had been living on the edge all year long too many times. And I was glad to see the Giants. Do you think Vrabel will get Coach of the Year?
I think he'll be up there for Coach of the Year. I think it's between. Yeah, I think he boy, people sure love him. I think Doug Peterson did a hell of a job too down in Jacksonville.
Yeah, he's on the AFC side. He's probably the one who's going to be up for it there. But it's hard to look away from people that. I mean, it's funny when Kansas City and Buffalo become so good every year, you become complacent. Think about where Buffalo was in between the Jim Kelly years and now, right? Mm-hmm. They were dormant, and now it's just you expect them to win. But man, they almost blew that game yesterday. That was crazy that they let those guys stay in that game, and they got fortunate. Yeah,
but they did.
All right, guys, thanks.
All right, let me hit something that he said. He said, he talked about the second half Lobos. Concerned, right? They were up, and San Diego State came back and took the lead. They were up by one when Mensah got the foul and the technical, and the 5-point swing turned it. And it was certainly fortunate for New Mexico. Can I tell you this? I'm more impressed by the way the Lobos played the second half than I am concerned. San Diego State was going to make a run. It's a top 25 team in their place where they don't win. They were going to make a run, and they did. I'm more impressed that down the stretch you thwarted every run that they made. That you were able to every time that they had an opportunity that they made a stop and you were able to get back on defense and force them into something that looked rushed or an off shot. I'm more impressed with the Lobos play in the second half than I am concerned that they let a lead slip away. I'm more impressed because you knew San Diego State was making a run. Did you think you were just going to hold them at arm's length all night? Like, there's no way that was going to happen, I don't think. The fact that, and it did happen at SMU, right? It did happen at St. Mary's. They were able to hold them at arm's length. This San Diego State team's better than St. Mary's, I think, even though St. Mary's beat them, and better than SMU. They made a run, and you were able to push back and pull away. Like, am I wrong on this? Are you more concerned or more impressed with the way the Lobos played in the second half?
More impressed.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows the run is coming. It's not as simple as, hey, we're up by 10 at halftime, so we're going to win the game by 20. That's not the way sports work. And I think everyone knows that. It's JD, there's a fair concern. Because I know something that Jeff Grammer has talked a lot about and points out.
Like the UNLV game.
The Lobos in the second half.
Right. And you point to the UNLV game and maybe even the Fresno State game, the two games they lost.
And even Oral Roberts.
Okay.
But, it's also just due to the style of play. UNM is a more offensive team than a defensive team. So that's why I was very impressed that they set the tone defensively in this game at San Diego State. Runs are coming. You're on the road against the team that people say is the best team in the Mountain West Conference. And so they're coming at you in the second half. They're coming on a run, and they did. It was 17-7. They took a 1-point lead, and then the Lobos responded. Now, if they're doing this constantly against the San Jose States of the world, against Fresno State, against UNLV, you're going to get frustrated. But on the road against the Aztecs, you know that was going to come down to, all right, how do we respond
and you didn't
when
fold.
they hit us with that combo?
Yeah, you didn't fold. You hit them back. All right, going into the break, I told you that Tampa Bay is getting back a player on the offensive side that they haven't not had all year. And I think one of the big things we heard, going back to training camp, Tampa Bay was decimated on the offensive line, right? I think that's one of the big reasons they couldn't run the football this year. They activated for the first time this year their Pro Bowl center, Ryan Jensen. He'd been on injured reserve. He will be eligible to play tonight. He was on day 19 of his 21-day practice window for him to be eligible. He'd returned to practice back in late December, moving around, and the final hurdle was him being cleared for contact. He had a knee injury at the beginning of camp. So he missed the entire regular season, a guy they call the enforcer. Big deal, little deal, no deal, do you think? Because I think it's a deal. I think it helps them win their run game.
Little deal.
Okay.
Just because there's still a conditioning aspect to it.
There is. There's
not
game
playing
condition.
for that long.
No
coming
doubt.
in and saying, you're saving our run game. I don't think it's going to be that dramatic, but having your starting center back is a nice confidence boost for that offensive line.
I think it's a deal. I don't know if it's something that swings the game, but I think it's something for that offensive line. So Tampa Bay is getting a little bit of piece of what they did not have all year. They're getting that back today. All right, 505-246-0610. You can call and say hello to Steph. She'll put you on the air with us. I got I got a bunch of texts and emails that I got to get through. You guys are really coming through on this holiday morning. You guys are actually really coming through, which is good. You can call us at 505-246-0610 as well. You can get in on Lobos' big victory. Aggie fan, I guess we probably need to mention that, huh? By the way, 0-6 in WAC play. UT Arlington went into the Pan Am Center on Saturday night and beat the Aggies 66-55. New Mexico State has fallen to 0-6 in WAC play. And it's just, you keep expecting them to flip a switch, don't you? I kind of do.
Yeah, they're flipping that switch. Power's
and there's
off.
no power. There's just no power. It's like that game 2 years ago at the Pan Am Center. Was it 2 years ago? Remember when the lights went out?
Lights went out and the toilet stopped working.
It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, Steph, and Adrian on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
The Bernalillo County Metropolitan.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S.
And AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Keep it here on the Sports Animal all day. It'll wrap you up with Cowboys and Buccaneers tonight. The final game of Super Wild Card Weekend. Tommy and the Bucs home against Dak and the boys. Who do you like tonight, Steph? You're not gonna watch the game. What do you do? How do you find out when a Cowboys win? You're a Cowboy fan. You got the star on your shirt this morning. So how do you find out how they did?
I'll wait like 3 or 4 hours, then I'll go on.
So the game will end.
Then I'll go on social
media. The game will
media.
end at 9 tonight, and then about midnight you'll wake up and kind of look at your phone.
Yeah, or before I go to bed. I just don't want to know.
Are you in here tomorrow?
No.
We get the Viking fan tomorrow.
Yes, you get the Vikings.
All right. You're in on football, and there's so much of it this weekend. So much of it this weekend. Who's sicker this morning? Ravens or the Chargers? The Ravens were going in for a go-ahead touchdown. You had a 14-point swing and lose the game by 7. You're at the goal line. You've got J.K. Dobbins. You've got and you call the quarterback sneak, and your guy, instead of going low where you've been so successful, your line has been getting a push all day. You do a regular sneak, go around inside your guard, right behind your guard, do a push sneak. You probably score. Your quarterback decides to go over the top, has it swatted out of his hand before he hits the goal line to go the other way 98 yards. You lose by a touchdown. Or the Chargers, who are up 27 bagel. Who's sicker this morning? The answer is yes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The worst way to lose is all the above. It's got to be the Chargers from just watching that collapse for the entire second half. Even the miscues for Baltimore being on the doorstep.
So I'll go with the Chargers because they have higher expectations, and the Ravens are playing with their backup quarterback. But I'm going to tell you, the Ravens are right there. They were knocking on the door. They were physically better than the Bengals were. They were physically better than they were, and there they were with all the confidence. And you were going to go stick it in the end zone. You were right there. You moved down the field on a beautiful drive by Tyler Huntley. That was the best he's played. You're right there knocking on the door. In fact, you thought you were in a play before, in fact. And so all you got to do, hand it up. You got a battering ram running back in J.K. Dobbins. You got a big offensive line who's been dominating. You've got a pretty good-sized quarterback in Huntley that can tuck it and go behind that line. Instead, he tries to play Superman and fly over the top, and his cape gets snagged on the phone booth, and the ball gets knocked out of his hands, and they go the other way. I don't know what's sicker. I don't know that it matters. I think they're both filling up buckets full of vomit. Sorry. How's breakfast feeling? I mean, nobody's slapping themselves with them up this morning. It's – I don't know. What's a worse loss? Chargers because they thought they would – well, they both thought they would win. They're both sickening. They're both sickening. Chargers because they did it with their stud quarterback and they were up 27-0. I would say is harder to take. But for crying out loud, do you think John Harbaugh's going to forever wonder why the hell we didn't give the ball to our big running back? Who, by the way, is in the media saying they should have given me the ball?
No. That's not as bad as throwing the football.
Well, no, it's not the Patriots Seahawks at the line. No.
No, it's not that level.
No, I didn't say that. But as far as
that's the same.
It's the same concept.
He made a bad decision trying to go over the pile from
the
that
quarterback
distance.
did. Yeah, the coach is saying
Huntley, usually because that's a yard to a half yard in that.
Yeah, he was a yard and a half
frame.
Out. Yeah,
is a huge difference.
100%.
Because it gives the defense that ability to just go bat the ball.
Yeah, and they did. And he didn't get over.
Because you see how, when it's much closer, the Trevor Lawrence one, where he just got it and he's long enough, just reaches his arm out and he's already over the goal line. And the power quarterback run game was a part of the game plan. It worked throughout the night for the Ravens, and Huntley got caught in the bad spot trying to go high.
I still think when it doesn't work, you second guess yourself all the time. Man, I got a big back. Or why didn't I just tell them, don't go over the top? I mean, they called that play. They called the sneak. There's no way anybody on the sideline, none of the coaches thought he's going to go try to fly over the top, right?
Yeah. They're probably, I would assume that there are designated calls for when you want to go over the top versus when you want the push. So is that one they just called and then they let Huntley
Well, it
decide?
looked like Dobbins was in because when The ball ended up in Hubbard's hand and he went the other way. Dobbins was in on the line. Like, that's why there was nobody back there to catch him, because it looked like a push. He was in there to it was a push sneak. The whole Bush push that used to be illegal that is now not only illegal but is encouraged and utilized and called and practiced. I don't know, man. That's a hard one to eat. That is a hard one to eat. David sent an email, Jeff at sportsanimallabq.com, JJ at sportsanimallabq.com. Outstanding win by the Lobos on Saturday. Hopefully they can build on that win and go on a nice win streak. With regard to my beloved Cowboys tonight, I think Dak and the offense will be just fine. My concern is the depleted secondary. Cowboys will be starting a rookie, Deron Bland, who most likely will have to guard Mike Evans. The Cowboys can limit the Bucs' big plays. They win by 7. It's from David. You said this earlier, and I think you are right. No, maybe it was you. It was Edward. Tampa's going to probably try to come out and establish the run. They're the worst rushing team in the league. If I'm Tampa, I come out and throw the ball 55 times. I think that's their best chance to win. Let Tommy chuck it, protect him, get it out of his hands early. And towards the end of the season, he rediscovered that he had Mike Evans on the outside, who you told me in week 3 is one of the best receivers in the league, and you're not wrong. To me, that's their best chance. Do you disagree with that?
I don't. It makes sense. They've been at their best when they just spread it out. Let Tom Brady go to work. You have the weapons. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Just spread it out. Run from the shotgun. Spread the field. Makes a ton of sense. Don't just try to line up, play power football, because that's not who you are.
I know everybody wants to establish the run. You've never heard a coach not say, we want to establish the line of scrimmage. We want to run the football. We got to run the football. We got to run the football. After 17 games, if you haven't realized, you're not real good at running the football, but what you are good is you got the most accomplished quarterback in the history of the league. You're relatively healthy finally at receiver, right? And they've got a couple of rookies back there. I'm going to let the greatest quarterback who ever played go to work and play Jedi mind games and try to throw at him. Why try to establish something I haven't been able to establish all year? 17 games I haven't been able to do it. Now, all of a sudden, why would I do it? Now, I got to run the football at times. I got to keep them honest. And I'm going to do everything I can to get Leonard Fournette going. But I'm statistically the worst rushing team in the league. Let me do what I do well and try to advance. And then let me put Tom Brady against Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy already beat him once this year. If I can get through this game. That's where I go. All right, when we come back, I'll wrap it up. I'll get you up to date on anything that's happened this holiday Monday morning. Get you the correspondence that you sent that maybe I've not gotten to. It's the opening drive. Steph's in for A. Marie today. Adrian today. I'm Jeff Symbieta with JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sound of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
The Sports Animal.
Rounding out your super wild card weekend tonight here on the Sports Animal, it will be the Cowboys in Tampa Bay. This morning, formality, C.J. Stroud declares for the NFL draft. Probably going to be a top 5, probably a top 3 selection, I would guess, right? Top 3 that we're looking at? Is that where Indianapolis picks?
Indianapolis.
Houston
4.
2, Indianapolis 4.
Houston or Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Should be the quarterbacks of those two franchises next season.
So he's leaving Ohio State. This is really no surprise. A Rancho Cucamonga guy, Inland Empire. Where's our guy Bruin James to love on C.J. Stroud? So that happened just about 9 minutes ago officially. Although there is zero surprise when it comes to that. All right, you've been sending all kinds of stuff in 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Bourne says, sounding so good with Steph that we need to keep it going all the way to post time. Dallas Cowboys versus Tampa Bay. P.S. OMG. What's the TV number going to look like tonight? It'll be good. Have a good TV number tonight. I'm sure the TV numbers on all these games are pretty good, don't you?
Yeah, they have a good lineup for all these wild cards. There's some good teams.
Last year, it was like 84 of the top 100 most watched things on TV were NFL football.
That's right. That's how that, I mean.
Right? It's all coming to the end. So right now you're just like, I'll watch any team just to watch the football.
That's what's keeping live TV alive.
Sports and
the
really
NFL.
the NFL. So the NFL is a dominant number one, but I'm telling you, college football numbers are really good too. College football is number 2. Bourne says the Vikings equal Lobo basketball versus Harvard. Jeff, your mind was telling you had to pick Lobo basketball, but knowing their history, it was zero surprise Harbert and Jacques Cousteau beat them. Ditto yesterday. It was hard to take the Giants, but you really wanted to, knowing Vikings state tournament history of crapping all over themselves. I don't know if I felt that way. Did you?
No. It was only a 2.5-point game.
Yeah,
So, like, everyone knew how tight that game was going to be. The Giants weren't this miracle wild card team. They played some pretty good football this season. The Vikings lost at home. That stinks. But we all saw how close that game was going to be. So everyone's trying to come in today like, frauds. What a choke job. No, everyone knew that was a field goal game going in.
I didn't know that many people cared about the Vikings.
They just want to razz Marie.
So that's
I'm
what
just
tomorrow's going to be.
kidding.
I think there might be something to it.
Miami did awesome for how many people were injured.
Yep. Played with their third-string quarterback on the road where they were supposed to get run out of the building by multiple double digits, right? I mean, this was going to be, what was the spread on that, 11? Is that where it closed? Something like that?
It was double digits,
Yeah.
like 13, 14. I
Yeah,
thought.
that was big, and everybody was on Buffalo. Everybody was. Honda wants to talk college basketball on Wyoming. Have you seen what's going on at 7,200? Maldonado limped off the field, having a hard time breathing. I haven't heard any updates. Steve McLean's boys got finished that game with 5 healthy scholarship players. P.S. Steph Cat sounding great today. Wyoming basketball-wise, I told you that I think they were going to beat somebody, and they were going to beat some people up there. Tell you what, man, they may not have enough bodies to play basketball up there. The way guys are going. This was supposed to be a great year for them, by the way. And they're just beat up.
Just dropping like flies.
Yeah, I know it's too bad. By the way, and I know we hit on this. Richard Pitino was with us. If you missed the conversation with Richard Pitino today, that'll be available for you after the show on our website, sportsanimalabq.com, or wherever it is you get your podcast. I thought it was a really insightful conversation with the Lobo men's basketball coach. Elsewhere on Saturday around the league, did you catch? Most of you did because you were trying to watch the Lobo game on CBS Sportsnet. Colorado State went into Thomas and Mack and beat UNLV 82-81. UNLV's 1-4 in league play. Their one win was in the pit. Figure that out. Did you see how they got to overtime? Colorado State was down by 3 points, 1.8 seconds to go. They throw a long inbounds pass to Isaiah Stevens, who was just over half court. He turns around, 2 dudes were on it. And it wasn't a shot, JJ. It was a two-handed over-the-head heave. Literally, because there were 2 guys on him. He couldn't get a shot off. So he turned 2 hands above his head, heaved it at the basket as the buzzer went off, and it banked in. And they went into overtime, and he hit the big shots in overtime and had the big steal in overtime. And Isaiah Stevens was just fantastic. He had 33 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists in Colorado State's win at Vegas. They were in your hotel, huh?
Yeah, they were absolutely buzzing Saturday night. Everyone was down in the restaurant feeling good. The players were popping around, and Stevens hitting the game winner and that unbelievable shot to send it to OT.
And the steal.
Yeah.
And the steal in overtime. Also in the league, Air Force went to Fresno and did what the Lobos couldn't do in Fresno. They beat the Bulldogs. Air Force has won a few in a row. They're 2-3 in the league. They've won 2 in a row, 51-48. Boise State went to Laramie. Boise State's 4-1. Boise State is the highest net rank team in the league. They won 85-68. Their net ranking is 20, JJ. So you've got 5 teams, Boise State, Nevada, San Diego State, New Mexico, and Utah State. 5 teams in the top 40 of the net in the Mountain West. It's where we are right now. And you got San Jose State coming in tomorrow. So that's what you had in the league on Saturday in case you missed it. And you're going to go into today. Nothing today, but you got the big one tomorrow here in the pit. Tomorrow you got the Spartans are in here. Nevada will be at Boise State. That's an interesting watch, by the way. Nevada at Boise State. UNLV will be at Utah State. That's really good. And then Wyoming will go to Air Force. There's not a night off in this league.
There's not.
Not a night off in this league.
And that's what you want to see, because that means that you can be a multi-bid league. You're going to have games that matter, games that strengthen the numbers across the board, things that help you get to the NCAA tournament.
Yep, you need it. You need it. All right. Steph, you're on the Cowboys tonight, right?
Yeah.
You're on the Cowboys tonight?
Big in the Cowboys.
I'm hoping.
You want me to go the other way? I mean, I will. I'm not as convicted. My gut is to pick the Cowboys, but since everybody's going, I'll take Tommy. That's fine. I'll go the other way.
So I did look something up since everybody was talking about Brock and his being Mr. Irrelevant.
Brock Purdy, yeah.
So Brady, when he was drafted, he was picked 199th.
Yep.
It's not like, that was the 6th round.
It's a big number to him too. 6th round, and he wasn't the last guy in the draft.
Yeah,
but he was 6th round.
He was.
That's a big deal, and he got his break when Drew Bledsoe got hurt.
And he's probably the oldest quarterback, right? Playing in this
no doubt
playoff.
I mean,
he's like double the age of some of these guys.
I would say he's beyond double what Brock Purdy is. Yeah.
The NFC rosters are the really interesting ones to look at when we talk about roster construction. When you draft a quarterback, who do you need, to pay, how much you should pay for a quarterback? Because San Francisco was paying Jimmy Garoppolo, like $24 million a year when they were building this roster. So it's not just, Brock Purdy's a rookie quarterback. He had nothing to do with them putting this roster together the last couple seasons. And that was the Jimmy Garoppolo contract. You look at, Minnesota with Kirk Cousins in that $35 million range, what they've done over the last few seasons. But Cousins back in 2012, 4th round pick. Jimmy G, 2nd round pick. Dak Prescott, 4th round pick. So it's Jalen Hurts, 2nd round pick. So the NFC rosters are the really interesting ones to look at because they don't have the top 10 picks at the quarterback position and how they got to this point to be a playoff team.
But the Niners, appreciate that conversation. Their intent was to go with the top 3 guys.
But they realized, hey, we still need to try to get one of these guys, and they took Trey Lance 3rd overall.
Thanks to Richard Pitino. He was with us today. You can hear his conversation wherever you get your podcast. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4, and then you get Cowboys and Buccaneers. We're back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. Adrian, thanks for working the holiday. Steph, thanks for coming in, filling in on the holiday.
Thank
Always great
you.
having you here. Good luck to your team tonight. You'll find out about midnight.
Yeah.
Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit International Protective Services.